Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have the brand new PTB for Dead by Daylight. We got Stranger Things Part 2. So let's go over the new killer, the perks, and we'll do some gameplay. And I'll show off like an optimal build for him. Anyways, let's just get into it. We got our killer. Now, this is our killer, Vecna, you know, the main antagonist. In-game, he is referred to as the First. And let's look at his 3 teachables. He has turn back the clock after hooking a survivor for 60 seconds. Press the ability button to make a near target generator within 20 meters explode, lose 10% progress, and start regressing. Basically, this is remote gen breaks. Also keep in mind, it doesn't say in the perk description, but you do have to have direct line of sight with the generator in order to use this perk. If you don't, it doesn't work. This honestly is absolutely insane. And it's like, it's about time we got some like new meta perks for killer. Because like, let's be real, the killer meta has been stagnant for like years. I think the last time we got a good strong perk was Ultimate Weapon, and that shit got nerfed hard. Yeah, so it's about time we got some new meta perk. Next up, we got Secret Project. Whenever a totem is blessed or cleansed, you block a random unblocked gen for 30 seconds. And then whenever one or more gens are blocked, you become undetectable for 30 seconds. Now, I highly assume that any other gen blocks will activate this perk. So this is very solid. Like go for some undetectable plays, and it synergizes very well with like the other gen block perks we got. And finally, we got Hex Hive Mind. First time you hook a survivor, the dull totem becomes Hex. While the Hex is active, all generators are highlighted with the intensity of the generator's auras revealed with their repair progress. And then when one gen is left, the last 3 gens will explode, losing 10% progress and start regressing, and then the Hex becomes a dull. This is, I would say, fairly decent for like some tracking. Not the best tracking perk, but it's not bad. It's not bad. I'd say overall, his perks are really solid. So if you want to get this guy for the perks, then I highly recommend it, especially for this perk in specific. Assuming they don't nerf this perk would be a suitable place for your meta builds. And now let's look at the stats and we'll look at the power. So for stats, he is 4.4 movement speed with 32 meter terror radius and average height. His power is test subject number 1. For his primary attack, he has Vine Attack. You press and hold the power button to charge a Vine Attack. When charged, press the attack button to activate it, creating a small area of effect on the ground. Any survivors within the area are given a token of World Breaker, which we'll get into later. Basically, think of this as like kind of like how, you know, Pyramid Head had like mixed with Pinhead. Pinhead and how the project and how it works, where you send it out, but you don't teleport, you don't transition to it. You just send it out, and it just shoots out where it could go through walls and such. But it is like a kind of like a small area. It's like a small circle that like covers like small narrow hallways and such. Next up, we got the other half of his kit, the Upside Down and Undergate. So Vecna, he can go into the Upside Down, and while you're in the Upside Down, you have access to this Undergate attack, where you do a much larger effect, and if survivors get caught in this radius, they get 2 World Breaker tokens instead of 1. However, this ability, from how much I played, it is very hard to hit because it is very slow to charge up, and survivors have plenty of time to get out of the radius before they get hit. So, yeah. And finally, we got World Breaker and the Grandfather Clocks. Once the survivor gains enough tokens, i.e., if you inflict give a survivor 2 tokens, World Breaker activates and the timer begins. While World Breaker is active, both your Vine attack and your Undergate will actually do damage instead of granting World Breaker tokens, and 4 Grandfather Clocks activate. World Breaker lasts for a predetermined amount of time based on the number of survivors alive, and survivors can interact with the Grandfather Clocks to spread around the map to speed up the World Breaker timer. Yeah, basically, the main counterplay is these Grandfather Clocks. You can't not reduce the timer completely. You can only reduce the time by 75%. And then you have to wait out the last 25% of the timer. So yeah, that is the power. We'll look at the killer add-ons later, but for now, this is what we're going to be doing. And yeah, I'll cut to when we get get into a custom. All right, we're in. Now, when we start out our movement, our upside down traversal, it will be on cooldown at the start of the game, so I can't do anything about that. All right, that's what the attack looks like. Yeah. Bam. Give him 1 World Breaker token. Oh damn, that was close. So you can see what the cooldown is fast. I did see like a couple people saying I didn't see a couple people saying that the cooldown is bugged. I don't know if that's true or not. All right, bam. We got World Breaker active. It begins. Let's go ahead and traverse the upside down. I lost sight of where Nancy was. Oh, here's Nancy. Yeah, see how long that windup is? And now, this ability can damage, like so. And obviously, this is going to be super dangerous whenever you're at vaults. Now, obviously, since the character just came out today, obviously there's no real easy way to tell how strong this character is, since we don't know how gameplay around this character is going to be. But yeah, obviously, you can't camp pallets with this guy. You can't camp pallets. Dustin! Dustin, Dustin, Dustin! Bam!
Your days are numbered.
Come here, Dustin! Yeah, take that. Bam! Who's the real psychic now, bitch? Yeah, we'll use that. Reverse upside down. Let's go up here. Damn it. Alright. Second phase of this is up. I can't reduce this any further. Oh yeah. If we try and use our ability near hooked survivors, it just straight up doesn't work. So yeah, as you can see, he's pretty susceptible to pre-running and whatnot. Okay, got him. Got him with that. Bam.
Prepare yourself.
Boom. Got him. Got him again. You can see the clock at the top middle. That shows how much time I got left. It's like I gotta make the most of it. Oh, they just broke my fucking totem. It's fine. See, the best part about this is that it can hit multiple people. Obviously not the best showcase of that, but you know what? It's fine. Alright, we'll use this. Move faster. I think I need to be a little bit ahead of them in order to hit that. Oof, I don't think I'm gonna make this in time. Yep. Base hit BT. just lost value of my perk. Bam. Got you again. Okay, hit. Dustin? He's smart? Fuck, okay. That doesn't work. Alright, let's go pick up Nancy. Go pick up the Nance. Alright.
I will show you no mercy.
Can't do anything? I win, always? Alright, here's the Mori.
Waited a long time for this. 11.
Break everything? Give me the eyes, too. I want the eyes. Yeah. Yeah, that was the Mori right there. It did get a little bit censored, but we got to see most of it. Bam! Because she had max stacks? Yeah, because she had max stacks, we were able to get that instantly. Now you see, she has max stacks and she's on Death Hook, which means I can do this. Yeah, we
Only delay the inevitable.
Bam! It would just snap, would just crack her neck and she dies. Yeah, if you have like got a survivor on 4 stacks and they're on Death Hook, if you hit them with your Vine attack while you're in your enhanced state, you will just straight up hold the survivor in place and you can just straight up Morium. Which honestly I think is absolutely cool. I missed. Okay, you're smart. Yeah, stand still. Stand still, please. Nice try. Okay, now we can do you.
Not escape.
I love that.
I will not be denied.
Oh yeah, the timer for your World Breaker, it's based on how many survivors are alive in the trial. Dustin. Dustin, come back here. Yes! Got it at the very last second. I got it. Very last second. I want I want you at a more open spot. This'll do. Alright. Your turn, Dustin. The power of Ecno. Yeah. That is basically the character right there. He's much harder than he looks. It only seems simple right now. Mainly because we're playing on Hawkins. And there's a lot of tight corridors. Which I feel like he works best with. But yeah, now let's quickly showcase this build that I have that I really like. I will play with that. Alright. This is the build, so we're going to use the new perk, Turn Back the Clock, Barbecue and Chili, as well as Lethal Pursuer, as I feel like aura reading is going to be super important on them. Having tracking is going to be very important. You could also run like other aura rating perks for like mid chase, so like I'm all ears and stuff like that, and that would work just fine. It'll help you out with some of those shots. And then of course we're gonna bring Pain Res, because why wouldn't you? And then for the add-ons, let's go through the add-ons real quick. So we got Stained Glass Mural. While your upside down traversals on cooldown, breaking pallets and walls will decrease the cooldown by 12 seconds. This is, I would say, fairly good, since it's already on a fairly lengthy cooldown. So having access to your main traversal tool more often is going to be super helpful. And I've got Shattered Wrist Rocket. Your undergate attack will break pallets and generators within the radius. This is, I would say, is also fairly decent as well. I'm surprised that this is even a brown. Hell, to be honest, I feel like they could just slap this shit onto the base kit, and I feel like it wouldn't really be that crazy. Yeah. And then Orderly ID. While you're outside of World Breaker mode, your Vine attack aiming range is increased by 2 meters. Not bad. It's already fairly long, so I feel like this is kind of unnecessary. Bead Maze. The second in phase of World Breaker timer is increased by 3 seconds for each living survivor. Again, World Breaker already lasts fairly long. Even if they do the clocks, it already lasts for a fairly long time, so it's not exactly all that necessary. Smash Cassette Take. All survivors start with 1 World Breaker token, and then when it's activated for the first time, all survivors lose their World Breaker tokens. It'll also remove one of the grandfather clocks. This, I would say, is absolutely insane for a green. So basically, you use this add-on, and then your first Vine attack will immediately put you into World Breaker. Like, that is insane. Like, this add-on's actually crazy. This will help your early game out significantly, because I feel like early game is where this killer struggles the most. Due to you have to, like, hitting the survivor 2 times with your Vine attack just so you can get into World Breaker. And because you won't have access to your fucking, your traversal and undergate as well. So you have to use your Vine attack. This just speeds up your early game significantly. I feel like this is his best add-on. Mid-Century Radio. While in World Breaker mode, grandfather clocks more than 32 meters away being worked on by survivors have their auras revealed. This, I would say, is fairly decent if you want to, have more control over the grandfather clocks. This is fairly decent. Got it super calm. While out of World Breaker mode, survivors hit by the Vine attacks have their aura shown for 1.5 seconds. Not bad. Clock hands. Survivors gain the Oblivious status effect when interacting with grandfather clocks and for 12 seconds after. It's okay. Like, it's not that crazy. Bloody Roller Skate. While activating Undergate attack, killer gains 20% haste effect for 2 seconds upon exiting. This, I would say, is fairly decent since, you know, the main problem is people holding W against you. So this would help mitigate that. So even if you miss, you know, you could still at least recover some of the ground that you lost by just coming out of Undergate. Victor's Razor Blade. When World Breaker ends, injured survivors become afflicted with the broken stats for 20 seconds. Okay, it's okay. Rabbit Remains. Survivors gain exhausted when standing or entering the Undergate's attack radius, and for 20 seconds after. Fairly solid. Neck Tendril. Survivor is hit by the Vine attack while in World Breaker mode receives Hemorrhage and Mangle status effect. This is just the fucking Sloppy Butcher before Vine attack. Considering how awful anti-heal is, not too great. Forge Death Certificate. Each successful World Breaker token placed on the survivor via Vine attack reduces your terror radius by 12 meters until the next World Breaker activation. This is, I would say, fairly gimmicky. If you want to go with a fun little stealth build, this is the add-on you'd run. Electrode Cap. At the start of the second phase of World Breaker mode, or when the survivors complete grandfather clock interactions, survivors more than 26 meters away from the killer have their auras revealed for 6 seconds. It's not bad. Pizza Goggles. Undergate's attack area of effect is reduced by 90%, and its cooldown is shortened by 20 seconds. This, honestly, it basically just completely gets rid of the Undergate as an attack and just has you primarily using the Upside Down as primarily a traversal tool. I would say it's a bit of a side grade. Electroshock Collar. Coming out of the Upside Down, all vault locations within 32 meters are blocked for 12 seconds. Not bad. When World Breaker mode starts, the killer's vault speed is increased by 30 seconds for the next 60 seconds. Honestly, with this killer, you're not really going to be vaulting or breaking pallets unless you absolutely have to. If it's like some god window or something, or like some god pallet that you have to break, you're honestly not going to be doing it since your fucking Vine attack goes through walls and shit. So you're not really going to be too worried about breaking stuff or vaulting over stuff since you just hit them with Vine attack. They got Black Widow Spider. Entering the Upside Down while in World Breaker mode makes the furthest survivor more than 36 meters away reveal their location for 3 seconds. It's okay. And then we got the Eerie add-ons. We got Iridescent Soraterra chip. When World Breaker activates, you gain undetectable on survivors with at least one World Breaker token had their aura revealed when coming in 12 meters to the killer. This will last until the killer performs a Vine attack, enters the Upside Down, or World Breaker ends. This is honestly not bad. And then finally we got Chest Piece. You have 2 Vine attacks, but its attack radius is reduced by 35 meters, and also your Upside Down cooldown activation time is increased by 15 seconds. It's okay. It's kind of unnecessary. It's more of like a fun, gimmicky add-on. Overall, his add-ons, I would say, are fairly decent. You have like quite a few good options for viability. I'm just going to be using the Stained Glass Mural and the Smash cassette deck. And then, of course, we're going to be bringing the Morty. So yeah, with that said, let's get started. Alright, Underground Complex again. in as we selected the map, so yeah, let's get started. I missed. Boom! See that? That's the power of fucking the Smash cassette deck. Bam! And I immediately got someone down. Got 2 people down. All from that, my friends, is the power of the Smash cassette deck. You see why this add-on is fucking insane. I got 2 hooks off of that. All because of this fucking add-on. Like, you see how crazy that is. And a book. Bam. I didn't get you. Got 11. Bam. 3 downs with 1 use of World Breaker. 3 downs. That is absolutely insane. Alright, we'll go for a basic there. Bam! I knew where she was. I love playing this killer on like the maps with the tight corridors like Hawkins. I feel like this is where the killer really shines, is in these funnels where like the survivors can only go one way. Alright, we'll use that. We use all of our stacks of pain res. We'll quickly put you on a hook. I got another thing, another instant to turn back the clock. Alright, we'll use this. Bam! Immediately get...
Days are numbered.
Oh, got you. Bam! Got you again. Let's go. They don't know. See, we about to fucking hit him with the ass. God. We about to like get like a 4K at like fucking 5 gens. Damn it! I was so close. So you really have to like, it does take some skill to use this power. You have to like really pay attention to like survivor pathing and know exactly what they're going to do when they're going to do it. You have to get into survivors' heads. Yeah, you kind of just have to like be playing 40 chess with the survivors in order to like try to figure out where they're going and what they're doing.
You have little time left.
Yeah, got you. Let's go ahead and do a nice Mori right over here. Alright, you're dying? I'm sorry, but you're dying. Honestly, I really like this killer. They are so fun to play. Got you? Okay, boom. No, I didn't mean to do that. Mind break. Yeah, I agree, Nancy. It's time for you to leave. Hey, stop crawling away from me. Alright, it's time for you to die. I better find this hatch before Steve does. Well, I'm gonna be pissed. Mr. Steven Bills, get back here. Oh, the hatch is right there. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Alright, well, I think that's good enough. So for my first impressions, I feel like he's gonna be a fairly decent killer. It is far too early to say how strong this guy is. I've seen people say he's super busted. I've seen some people say he's kind of weak. Well, honestly, I would say it's far too early to say how busted he is going to be, or how strong he's going to be. He's definitely not trash. I can tell you that. He's definitely fairly good. At the minimum, B tier. At minimum. But in terms of how strong he is, only the future will tell, as like we haven't like figured out how to play against him yet. You know, we're still learning that. Plus it's the PTB, so not a very good judge of how strong characters are. But at the very least, he is very fun, and he's definitely going to be among my rotation at killers. With that said, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Take care, everyone.